you need? It was a question I got asked several times at school, hundreds of times in fact, because my last name is Needs. My granddad absolutely loved being a Needs. He was so proud of having this unique surname that he'd even look up Needses in the yellow pages and even phone them up just to see if we were related. He'd even look at family trees just to see how far back Needs went. Being about 11 or 12 then, growing up to be a bit of a moody, sulky teenager, I absolutely hated the name. Couldn't stand it. Absolutely hated it. My granddad used to say, "You should be proud to be a Needs." Well, not me. I couldn't stand it. I used to say, "Oh, I can't wait until I grow up, I get married and I'll get rid of this stupid name forever. It'll just go." I've got two sisters, and I figured that if we all grew up, we all got married, there'd be nobody to carry on the family name, as my dad was an only child. So, Needs would be no more. So you might be thinking, well, why did you hate it so much? Well, at school, kids being kids would just take the piss out of me all the time. Kerry needs help. Kerry needs a... And other such choice words were stuck onto the end of my name. Register was the best. The teacher used to shout out, "Kerry needs," and somebody would murmur, "A haircut," a boyfriend, or something else which would make everybody laugh. So, at the time, I absolutely hated the name. Couldn't stand it. So, I started to grow up, started to mature, but I still hated the name. It just caused me embarrassment. So, meeting anyone new, people used to say, "Needs," as in, you need something. And I just go, yeah, needs. So, I hated anywhere where I had to stand up in public or anybody shouted out my name, like doctors' surgeries, appointments. People would shout out my name and I'd just give people a look as if to say, yes, that is my actual surname, and just walk straight on. So still, my granddad was so proud to be a Needs. Whenever I did anything or had a certain mannerism, he'd say, "That's a Needs trait, that is." And I just thought, oh, I can't wait until I grow up and I can just get rid of this name forever. Then, around the age of 22, I started to change my perspective. After years and years of all this abuse, people calling me names, making fun out of my surname, I just grew tired of it. I just thought, well, you know what? It's just a name after all. I could change it if I really wanted to. I could have a cool surname like Mourinho or DiCaprio. Carrie DiCaprio, perhaps. So, I thought I could change it after all. Then, I started to think a little bit differently. So, instead of growing tired of it, I started to change my perspective. Around the age of 22, as I said, I set up my own online magazine. It's a resource on the mind's potential, so studies from all around the world about fascinating things that we can do with our mind when we focus it enough. So, at that point, I started to reach a turning point when it came to my name, as I realised one crucial thing. My name is fairly unique. As far as I know, there's only one other Kerry Needs in the world, and she lives in Australia. So, as far as I was concerned, this is just great news. And you might be thinking, well, why was that? Well, I thought and realised that if I began to put my name to enough things online, I'd be highly ranked in the search engines. So, after all, if I was called Kerry Smith, for example, I'd be lost in a sea of other Kerry Smiths on Facebook, Google and Twitter. So I started to think, maybe this isn't such a bad thing after all. And there was also another reason why I started to think differently about my last name. As I started to progress in my career and go to networking events, people would always remember me because of my last name. They'd say, you're Kerry Needs, aren't you? So they'd remember me. So, from absolutely hating my name, I started to grow a bit tired of it. And then I started to think, well, maybe this is a good thing. Maybe having this weird surname is actually a good thing. So, I must admit, I don't go as far as Googling my family tree as my granddad did, or would have done, but I've actually grew to quite like the name. So much so, in fact, that I've decided that even if I do get married in the future, I'm still going to be Kerry Needs for work purposes. So, I absolutely hated my name, I grew tired of it, and finally I ended up quite liking being a Needs, even if sometimes people do call me special.
If we can all just complete the evaluation split for Kerry, please.